soon as it went live, I had something in my eye. Sorry. Hi, everybody. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to be doing a lot of blinking for a second here. I don't know what happened. Audra here, also known as Twisted Chalker. And I am an independent creator with Magnolia Design Company. And I have been working on some Easter decor and have completely become obsessed with this Ballet Slipper pink chalk paint. And I don't know if you've seen some of the things that I've posted earlier. I'm going to show you now. And then I'm going to finish that project, that whole set collection tonight with the last egg. So, this is what I've been doing. Here is the bunny. This is just a wood bunny that I picked up. I painted it with the Ballet Slipper Waverly chalk paint that I picked up at Walmart, and then I stenciled it with our mandala stencil using my white chalk paste. And then on the other side, I stenciled it using the antique floral print pattern on that side. Then I have these little eggs that I picked up from Etsy, and I painted them white. They were kind of a off-white color, like an ivory color, and then the edges were still raw, so I painted them white all the way around to match the rest of the set behind me, and then just did different little patterns on each side using the Ballet Slipper chalk paint instead of the chalk paste. It's not the easiest thing to do because the chalk paint runs a little thinner than the chalk paste, and so what happens is inevitably it will bleed, but that can be fixed with a little touching up. So then we have this project that I did. This used to be like a redwood frame with burgundies and browns and stuff, and it had a wine bottle. It was for, so just a decoration with a wine bottle and some wine glass in it or something. And I painted over the frame, and I covered the glass with these pots. Well, first I covered it with craft paper. I thought it would be pretty with some craft paper, but the craft paper bubbled up and got funky. So then I glued the popsicle sticks over it in little pieces to make it look like a brick layering or something, and then dusted it with white dry brushed it with white chalk paint. This is a plastic egg that I picked up that I painted with the Ballet Slipper, and then did little white polka dots. And this right here is the same as this, except it was not painted. So I painted it with Ballet Slipper and glued it all on there. And so that's what we have for this part of the set. Carefully. And then I picked up a couple of eggs at a parking lot sale, and these eggs used to be this color. Oh hey, if I turn it backwards for me, it's right side for you. That used to be this color. So then I painted them the white chalk paint with Waverly matte white chalk paint on all sides, and then I stenciled this and made some ribbons to go on it. So tonight, this is what I'm going to do with these eggs. And originally, I had planned on using this pattern and this pattern on the egg, one on each side, but I just don't want to do it to death. I mean, it's already on the bunny, and everything else has got a little bit of a different look, and so I want to continue with having just a little bit of a different look. The only problem I have is my Easter stencils that I ordered from the company haven't made it in yet. I'm sure they've been shipped. It's been crazy weather here, and I'm sure the UPS or the postal office service is struggling just as much as everybody else. with icy roads and everything else. I think one day we didn't even have mail come because it was just crazy. And it's out there snowing now. As a matter of fact, I'm standing here with 74 degree, my temperature, my heat set at 74, and I've got a little heater blowing by my feet, and I've got leggings and sweats and long john shirt and t-shirt and big thick socks and shoes, and I'm trying to stay warm, which is funny because I'm always complaining it's too hot, even in the winter. So anyway, so I started looking at my other stencils, trying to find a pattern to put on this egg. I want to do both sides, in the pink as well. And I was looking at these, and this I thought might work, but it's too small. And the rest of these won't work either. I don't know that I could do it and then piece them together and make it look interesting. So I'm going to pass on that. And before I signed up to be an independent creator with Magnolia Design Company, I was looking into other things, and I ordered some stencils online that I could use. And so I have a couple little patterns that I had forgotten that I have. They're not Magnolia, but that's okay. They're going to do the job. So I'm going to use these two on my eggs with the Ballet Slipper pink chalk paint, which I don't have here yet, so I need to go get it. So I'm not using my chalk paste tonight. I'm using this. And you will see some bleeding in the pattern, and I will be touching it up with my white paint. So I've got my white paint. I need to get my squeegee. I am so unprepared because I decided to change it at the very last minute. And so I was looking for, don't need stir sticks, I was looking for something to use as my patterns. Got a few tools here. I've got my squeegees. Let me put this. I'm going to bring you down to the table so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, here we go. All right. So I've got the glue gun plugged in because we're going to be gluing some ribbon. I'm going to use the same. Do I want to use the same ribbon? Goodness gracious. I might do something different. I'll think about it while I'm doing this part. So I've got this little manicure stick. It's got a pointy end on one and a flat end on the other. We're scraping off excess paint if I need to. I've got some little teeny tiny paint brushes to help with catching the little bleeding spots. I may have to paint some white over some of the bleeding spots. Got my paints, colors, and my little teeny tiny fine point squeegee in case I need that to dab some color in. Okay, get my glasses out. So this has been painted, and it has been sprayed with a matte finish so that I don't peel the paint off when I peel this off of the surface. I'm going to start with the egg-shaped one first. And I'm definitely going to fuzz it because this particular one I've never used. I ordered it and put it away, and once I went crazy with Magnolia, I just forgot I had it. I ordered my Easter stuff, and it hasn't gotten here yet. So I'm being patient, and I'm just making do with what I have. I'm guessing anything that's been ordered probably might not get here this week. We're expecting quite a bit of snow. I don't know about you. Okay, last time I checked, temperatures here were 8 degrees, but it feels like a -9 with the wind chill factor. And I'm in Tulsa. How about you? Where are you? What are your temperatures? Are you able to keep warm? Are you staying in, or are you going out and about? Are you playing in the snow? You're probably not playing in the snow right now if you're watching this. But have you been? I haven't been out. I'm too chicken to go out in this weather. Besides the fact that I know I would fall down. I don't need ice and snow to fall down, so I know it would take, I would definitely fall down in ice and snow. And last time I fell down, I broke my nose, so I don't want a repeat of anything like that. Okay, so again, I'm not using chalk paste, I'm using chalk paint. Chalk paint runs a lot thinner, so there will be some stuff that I didn't originally intend to have on here, but I can fix it. So I'm just taking my squeegee and bringing out a little bit of paint. Don't go too crazy. And doing it the same way I would do it with chalk paste. Just making sure that all the white areas get covered. Yeah, I say before I signed up for Magnolia Design Company, I had learned about this whole technique by accident. I stumbled on it one day on Facebook, and I played with this for probably about 6 months before I made any kind of decision. And when I made before I made a decision, I stumbled on Magnolia Design Company. And I decided to sign up with them pretty quickly because I knew what they were doing, I knew what it was all about, and I loved it enough to want to do it. And the thing that made me decide to sign up with them was they have no minimum requirements. You don't have to make a minimum amount of sales to retain your title and position as an independent creator with Magnolia Design Company. All right. Oh yeah. Okay, this went better than I expected. There's a few areas. Okay, I'm going to point them out because I'm just picky that way. Like right here, there's a little bit of bleeding, and right around here, the circle's not a perfect circle, but quite frankly, because of the way this design is, it's really not that noticeable. So, I mean, right here, there's some bleeding. But you know, I'm completely and totally okay with that. It's just beautiful. I think it's a beautiful design. This is one I ordered off of Amazon. Okay. Probably should have warned you. I had to blow dry this so that it doesn't get smeared. And now that it's blow dried, I can really see where it's run, you know, where it's bled, that I don't care for it. So I'm going to do a little patch-up work in those spots. So it's not scraping off. So I'm just going to take my little teeny tiny brush, dip it in the white paint, and paint over it. Carefully. Paint over a few spots. Now, if you're really good with a paintbrush, this will work perfect for you. You can just, wherever you feel like you want to put some white, like I threw some white, whoops, right there to separate those two little swirls. Put some white in here to define that a little bit more. Put some white right there to clean up that line. In here to separate those two. I see where there's some pink missing right there. So I'm going to use my fine tip squeegee to put some pink right there. I'm not going to do too much cleaning up. I mean, it's really not too terribly bad. So I've got my little tiny squeegee. I'm dabbing it in the paint a little bit, and then I'm just going to dab it right there. Dip it in the paint a little more, and just dab it right there. There it is. I think I'm finished with that side. So I'm gonna dry it one more time, so it's gonna get loud. You may want to turn it down. Turn your volume down. Okay. So the whole thing is dry and ready for me to do the other side. Now this is a Christmas pattern. And I am going to use this Christmas pattern on here. And honestly, I think it will be able to pat. I'm fuzzing it again because I haven't used it. This is some, well, it's not very fuzzy. This was a used one when I got a hold of it. Somebody here locally was selling it. Their stock. All right. I found it on Marketplace. Person who was getting rid of a bunch of stuff was selling this with a bunch of other ones, and I couldn't pass it up because I knew what it was, and I had already been playing with it, and I loved it so much, and I just had to get it. So I made her an offer that she did not turn down, and I ended up with a whole bunch of stencils that are not related to the company that I am a creator with, but that's okay because the patterns come in handy. And they're working for me tonight because I had to make do with what I have. These, if there's any bleeding, and which I'm sure there will be easier to fix because they're far enough apart. Now, honestly, I don't think it'll look too Christmassy, considering it's, you know, coupled with a bunch of other Easter items. And there it is. I love it. Let me dab that back in the water. I'm placing them in water right now. I don't like to do this, but I don't want them to be sitting there while I'm over there washing my stencil under the sink. So it's not perfect, but I think it's perfect enough. I love it. So there it is. So even with the Magnolia stencils, I used, no, this one was chalk paste. I used this paint and put the stencil down and just swiped it over it, and some of these circles were not perfect enough for me, so I just took one of these tiny little paintbrushes and painted white around the edges of the ones that didn't come out right, and they were perfect when I was done. So, and it worked well with this too. So the chalk paste is awesome. The chalk paste is fantastic. It's the right consistency, made specifically for this sort of silk screening kind of a thing, but the chalk paints would work as well. Now I have used darker colored chalk paints on stencils and it stained them pretty bad. So that is something that, you know, will happen, but it doesn't ruin the stencil. You can still use the stencil. Or transfer, whatever you want to call that, silk screen. Okay, so now deciding about this. I have this flower. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the same one for a little bit of uniformity. So the decision now is, which one do I want to put here? I think I'm going to put this on this side, and I'm going to put this on this side. I may have a different one. Let me see. The real problem I have with all my other ribbon is that it's not the right shade of color for this. My other ribbons are very bright, very vibrant, very loud. So I think it would not be, I mean, I want this kind of effect. I want it to be soft like this. This is a soft, you know, pink and a soft embellishment. And so that's what I'm trying to accomplish here with this one as well. So I have these tubs. I don't know if you can see, where I keep a bunch of ribbon, and I have 4 of them stacked here on the floor next to the table, and I have one on the chair behind me, and then my Christmas and fall and Halloween, see this, but this is not white, so this is white, this is not, this is like an ivory color. I could use those just because they've got different patterns. I think, and then I'll use the same flower because the other flowers I have are too big, and I can't go anywhere. If I try to order something, it's not going to get here by tonight, right? That's not going to work. You can't really see it. Okay. All right. So the biggest question I have is, do I want to do that or that? Ooh, I kind of like that. I also have this pattern. I found these at Dollar Tree. I went to my Dollar Tree, one of the ones that I go to. And I was just looking around. Oh, see, that just kind of blends in. You can't see it. Yeah, I'm not caring for that one. So now the decision is that. I do this and put the flower. Oh, I like that. Or if I do this and put the flower, I like this one better. Okay. Scissors. What I'm doing is I'm cutting off the ends that were just kind of sticking out so that it, you know, it's a line across the end there. And then I want to measure it, and it's going to end at this circle, so I don't want to leave the circle open. I want a closed circle. There we go. Now to glue this on, this one's a little particular or difficult, a little bit difficult. I can't talk tonight. I think the snow has mushed my brain. I'm going to put a little bit of glue here because this is going to start coming apart. So I'm going to glue that together right there on the edge. There we These manicure sticks are awesome. And then put a little glue on this end, right here. It didn't come out. There we go. And so what I'm going to do after this dries here for a second, I'm going to take it and run glue on each of the sides here. I'm not going to put it down the middle because it's just going to come up through the holes there and it's going to look terrible. So that's pretty on there, pretty good. So I'm going to lift this up and just run a little bit of glue down the side here, on each end. Just a little bit. And place it on there until it dries. It takes a little longer, but that's okay. It comes out so much better if I do it that way. I am hoping my stencils can make it here this week. My Easter ones that I ordered, because I want to make Easter decorations out of this Christmas light bulb. So if they get here this week, I will definitely jump on and make some Easter decorations with my Christmas light bulbs that I didn't get to use at Christmas time. I ran out of time. All the crafting and funning. Before I knew it, it was time to move on to Valentine's Day. It goes so fast when you're crafting for, like I craft for my booth. I want to keep my booth stocked well for the different seasons. And it seems like the holidays come faster and that I'm ready for them to be done faster so I can move on to the next. Alright. And then a little bit more. I'm afraid to pull the trigger too hard. I don't want to get a big old mess of glob. There we go. Hut, hut, hut. Now somehow I clipped this one so that it started falling apart, but I did not on this one. So I don't have to put glue under that one. And then the flower, it's got a little bit of a small surface here. So I'm going to put a little bit of E6000 so that it will stick better. So I'm just putting a dab of it, just a little circle, a bubble of it in the middle, and then I'm going to surround it with the hot glue, because the hot glue will hold it in place. And I probably should have waited until I put the ribbon on the other side, but that's okay. I did the other one this way and it worked out okay. So the hot glue will hold the flower in place while the E6000 dries. Look at that. I'm in love with this pink, and this is just so soft and pretty. I think the hot glue's dry enough that I can do this. And I'm going to go ahead with the bunnies on this side again. So I made this bow with this stuff right here on here. And I did this under, I don't want to say guidance. I don't know anybody. I watched somebody do this on YouTube with a bigger version. She had a big one and she explained how she made it. And when I was trying to put this together, trying to find the perfect flower or the perfect bow for this spot, I remembered what she was doing, and I thought, you know, I'm just going to give it a try. And thanks to her, I was able to make this adorable bow to go on here. And so, I'm going to do it again. No, I'm not liking that. So I'm going to I should have waited on the flower. Would have made it a little bit easier to do this. That's okay. All right. It's very hot. So I'm pushing down firmly because I don't want the glue to be just a line across here and to be sitting really thick on in the middle of the ribbon and look kind of funky. So I'm just flattening it out so that it looks like it's just flat on the egg. Now to make the bow, bow, yes, the bow. So I have this, it's about, let me see. That looks like 3 inches, is that inches? Yeah. Okay, so it's about 3 inches long. And I'm going to make 6 of them. Or cut 6 of them, not make 6 of them. Cut 6 3-inch strips. So there's 3. 4, 5, and 6. And then I cut another one that's probably half the size. Okay, so the way she explained it was she just made them into little ears like that and then put it all together. I'm also going to cut a circle. This is some old burlap ribbon that I used up. And as you can see, I cut a circle right there for the other one. So I'm just going to cut another circle. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're not going to see it by the time all is said and done. So this is just something to glue it to. Okay. So I'm going to take the bunnies and make sure, of course, the bunnies are sticking out. And I'm going to glue this together, but I'm not going to line it up like this. I'm going to kind of tilt it a little bit to give it that fullness right there. And then just put a little dab of glue underneath here. And so there's one. Real easy. Again, I'm not lining it straight, I'm just tilting it a little bit. Just angling it. Put a little glue. I do hope everybody who's dealing with this weather has kept their power. We have been very lucky so far. we prepared, cooked some food that tastes good cold, just in case. I fried up some chicken pieces and stuck them in the fridge, and then for dinner tonight I went ahead and ate the chicken pieces. I like to dip them in ranch when they're cold. Ooh, that was hot. And I did a couple pork chops that way, and my friend, she cooked a pizza. She did it with cauliflower crust. I don't know how well that's going to taste if we have to eat it cold. If she has to eat it cold, I have one in the freezer too. I might do that just in case. There we go. See, that one ended up not being what I want. There we go. And then the other one, let me put my seat up down here. Now we're not going to see all this by the time all is said and done, so let that dry for a second. Okay, and one more. Twist it. Include it. Okay, now take the circle and glue these to the circle. So I'll start here. It's kind of tricky because, I mean, if you have something that doesn't have the holes in it, you'd be better off. I just had that laying there and it was a little scrap piece, and so I chose to use it. But I'm basically just gluing my loops to the circle. Ooh, that was a lot. Just trying to spread them out so they're not too close but not too far. This one won't sit flat, so it's not easy to do. I'm trying not to glue it to the table. Maybe I should have picked a piece of fabric that doesn't have, I mean, you could use felt. Felt would work great if you have felt. I don't want to glue it to the board. Those strings. Let's see. I'm putting most of the glue on the ribbon that's already there. Try to avoid. I got some of it sticking out. I'll probably cut it off. I probably made this circle a little bit too big. So as you can see, I just glued them into a circle. And then we take the 7th piece that we cut, fold it up a little bit, glue it together. Oh, it worked perfect. The bunny was right in the middle again. And we just glue it on top of this pile that you see in the middle. So I'm just attaching that there. And there it is. I'm going to make sure this isn't seen from the front. also going to do the same thing I did with the other flower. And I'm going to use a little bit of E6000 in the middle here. And then some hot glue. And I'm going to move it over far enough so that it's not sticking away from the edge, because when we turn this around, we don't want to see it, right? You have two options here. You can choose to display this side, or you can choose to display this side. And that's it for tonight. I'm hoping my Easter stuff comes in, because I do want to have fun turning these light bulbs into Christmas decorations or Easter decorations. But for now, take you off here. You might want to close your eyes for a second if you get motion sickness. Tonight, we are finished with this Easter set. I'm loving it. I'm probably going to end up playing some more with the pink. Making some more things, because I don't know. I'm obsessed with it. Alright, well thank you. Thank you for joining me, or for watching. Excuse me. Watching as a replay. And hi. If you have any questions or anything about anything you've seen here or anything you've seen in other videos, just leave a message and I'll definitely get back with you. Alright, thanks.